People care about this.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Good morning. We have people, from everywhere, certainly Hawaii and all through the states. And as I say Hawaii, I see a member of the NOFAS policy team, Mike Anderson. There he is. You're going to hear from him and the others today. Let me start off with just a quick little overview. I'm Tom Donaldson with NOFAS. First, I will attempt to do it here, but I'll ask everyone to please mute yourselves. There will be a chance to speak. There will be a chance to speak. Everyone will have the opportunity to after you hear from members of the policy team. But please do mute for now. And as you heard, as you entered, we are recording the meeting. And so that will be available. I think Jen usually has that up on the website within a day or so. We encourage you to send that link around to your colleagues with your organizations or anyone with your support groups and the people that you interact with. We need to reach as many people absolutely as possible. So as I said, so I'll give you a quick little update. Then our chair, our policy team chair, Susan Carlson, will give some further background, and you'll hear, of course, from Jen. I mentioned Mike Anderson, and I think Catherine Shea is on today, and perhaps Kate Boyce as well, the members of the NOFAS policy team. And a reminder, this is a meeting that occurs on the last Wednesday of each and every month at 2 p.m. Eastern time. So make sure you check in and also look for the NOFAS Policy Center website under FSD Respect Act, but also you can get all the recordings, current and past, and all the information on what is upcoming from that site. So please do check that often. I'm going to start with a short report on the appropriations requests that have been issued regarding FASD this year in this Congress. Mostly today, we're going to talk about, of course, the Respect Act and the progress there, what needs to be done. But we are very pleased to see some progress with the appropriations requests. NOFAS is always looking at the money that does exist, the federal dollars that have been made available. And you have a few of the Health and Human Service Department agencies that have FASD dollars. You've heard us talk about HRSA, the Health Resources and Services Administration. They have a single FASD program, and we're proud and pleased that two members of the NOFAS affiliate network, Proof Alliance and MassFAS, are instrumental in the great work of that project. And we're happy to see that that funding, the House committee report has included that funding for next year. Don't mistake that for not much progress when there's no new money there, because each and every year there's no guarantee that that money is available. And so that's a success attributed to all of you who have helped advocate and talk to folks on the Hill about FASD. Also pleased to see that there's actually a boost in the FASD dollars at CDC, a $1 million increase, again, in the House committee report. It's part of the process, but it's a big step, and it's sort of exciting progress to track along with that. And there's also some money in the Department of Defense appropriations through the Defense Health Agency, specifically for FASD. This would be entirely new money, entirely new project. We want, obviously, investment in FASD from every agency, every department of the government. That is just one side of it. Obviously, we want private donors, foundations, corporations, individuals, and the like to support this issue too, and we all need to do so. But as we've been talking about, a real opportunity is to increase the federal attention and investment. And so we're pleased to see, as we track along, it's been all in the win column. Not yet anything where we've heard, no, we're not going to be able to support that. So that's certainly good news. And let's move on now and to talk about the Respect Act, because there's also some positive developments there. But it's really those positive developments just lead you into the next objectives and the next tasks, which are then even more difficult than before. So we do have a lot in front of us, but I think a lot of a boost in morale and enthusiasm. So Susan, I'll turn it to Susan Carlson, turn it over to you for the continuing update.
I think we were going to have Susan, the other Susan,
Okay.
give a little bit of an update on the affiliates.
Good afternoon, everybody. You have two fabulous Susans on the same call. Sometimes it's hard to keep track of which one's going to go next. But I am Susan Ellsworth, and I am the NOFAS affiliate coordinator. I am honored to be working with so many wonderfully talented people across the country with the NOFAS affiliates, and really see all the hard work that they're putting into this. It's really also encouraging to see the partnerships that they're forming with groups and entities, organizations that are not yet NOFAS affiliates. And we're exploring those partnerships together, coming together as a cohesive team. It's a super exciting time. If you have not yet asked your senator or your House rep for a meeting, I want to encourage you to do so. Reach out to them and ask them to support the Respect Act and consider co-sponsoring that and sign the letter of support. You can find this information on the NOFAS Policy Center site, and also connect with Jen, because Jen's been very active keeping track of things and organizing things in a reasonable way to go forward to keep everybody informed and move forward. So Susan, are you ready to take it?
I am. Well, good afternoon, everybody. I love the last Wednesday of the month, so we can talk a little more about the FSD Respect Act, and we've had a lot of exciting news the past month, but we always start it with making sure everybody's on the same page with regard to what we're doing and why we're doing it. And so you'll see this slide from previous webinars. The FASD Respect Act is the foundation for a national FASD agenda. And I do have to say that in all of our meetings, and we'll talk about those in a minute, that our advocates are really understanding the importance of what that means, that our current systems of care really have fallen short. And this will provide that foundation to build on those systems of care. And so this is the foundation, and we build up from here. Okay, Jen. And I also, this is another previous slide from previous webinars, particularly for those that are just tuning in for today's webinar. And this is just a list of what the act will do. And again, resources to states for FASD identification, intervention, and prevention. And that's one of the big pieces of the bill, is to provide resources through requests for proposals to all states. All states will be able to access that funding to have for an FASD state coordinator. So if you haven't had a chance, there is a section by section summary, as well as the bill language. If you all recall, the bill was introduced the end of June. And so both bills are actually on congress.gov. So you can go there, or all the information that you'll need is also on our policy website. Okay, Jen. So we have two bills, like I mentioned, and Senate Bill 2238, House Resolution 4151. So get those memorized. I know that we have Post-it notes, and I think I've got them memorized because I'm always transposing bills, but our numbers. So those are our bill numbers. So don't forget them. Okay, update summary. We've had a lot of Zoom meetings over the past 5 months, and if you're on one of our FASD champions, you'll have seen this picture similar to this. I have a Havanese named Dexter, and he's actually on the table right now where we're sitting. So I thought it would be appropriate. I think he's going to know more about the FASD Respect Act than any other furry friend. But it's been a lot of meetings, and I must thank all of you that have participated. We've learned a lot. And I think probably one of the things top on that list is that most of the staff have very little knowledge of FASD, which to me wasn't surprising, because when I first got involved on the federal level, we met with staff and found that exact same thing. But they are extremely moved by the stories that you all are giving them. That really is making a difference. And I think the combination, when we can do it, the success of the meetings are when we have those lived stories, along perhaps with a professional in the FASD world. Those meetings have been really, really impactful. But it's a team effort. It's that head and heart. We talked about that in the very beginning, but the team effort is working. And I just want to say advocacy and political advocacy is an art and it's a science. And I guess that's why they call political science, and that was my major in college. So I've been involved in this field for a long time, but there's a lot of factors that go into the success of the meetings and getting that author. And we'll talk a little bit about that next. So these are kind of, I wanted to give you a summary of where we are today with the summary of our meetings and contacts and commitments. So we've had meetings, there've been we've heard about other contacts, commitments, but these are the numbers to date. And I've got to say, I think it's extremely impressive. When you would have told me back in the beginning of the year that we would have contacted 22 senators by the end of July in 18 states, and 28 House members, 14 states. We're doing, and I was surprised when I looked at this, we're doing a lot better with senators. And so there's, I think, a challenge that I'm going to put out there, that we really also need to work as hard on our House members. And then if you recall, when we first got going on this, we concentrated on our policy committees. And so I wanted to let you all know where we're at with that. In the House, we've had meetings with 10 out of 29 members. I think that's terrific. And again, the Senate, 14 out of 22. So what that tells, they have been, their staff or them have been exposed to this issue. And I think, and then also the appropriations, because one of the things that we talked about at the beginning, and I think it's kind of got lost, this bill is an authorization bill. And so it authorizes these programs, and then it goes to the appropriations process, and it's the appropriations committee that makes the decision on the appropriations. So in both the House and Senate, we've touched 5 members out of those committees, which I think, again, is thank you all for all that you've done. And then next slide. Okay, so then I thought maybe it would look, we could look at the map so we could see where we've been and where we need to go. And if you're out there and you're a gray state, contact Jen and the website, because we can help you. We can make those meetings happen. Now, okay, so the blue, and I know I'm from Minnesota, so it has 2 senators that are sponsoring. So we get, we're the blue, and then Kansas and Alaska each have 1 senator, and then the pink or melon or whatever, those are states where we have made contact with. So you can see.
Just a really quick note there. We actually have a couple more to add to this. So if you don't see your state, so I did this,
and Jen's got the more up-to-date information. So Jen, do you want to talk about who?
Well, I know we've got New York coming up, a meeting with Senator Schumer. Let's see. I'd have to go back to my list. I just wanted to say that I know there are a couple more on here that haven't been updated because they're just like things are happening as we speak. We're getting meetings. So
Yeah.
If you don't see, I know we've had some contact in North Dakota. Yeah, so don't panic if you've mentioned to me that, yes, I've made contact. It's just I haven't had a chance to update Susan yet. So,
and this is the Senate, so you can see around the country. So yeah, if we'll update that map, and you'll see it next month as well. So let's see what the House looks like. And I didn't. So I'm not very good with graphics, and I did these, and so I didn't quite know how to do it. So, but then, so the green states are the ones that are sponsors, and the yellow are the contacts. So again, if you have made contact and Jen knows about it and I don't, or vice versa, we need to fill in your states. And I think it was fun. We're getting into a kind of a competitive spirit with Kansas in both the House and Senate. But I think that's great. The more the merrier. I think we could make it a contest to see how many more we can get, next go around.
Susan, this is Kansas, and we're coming for you.
Good. I've got some more Minnesota ones coming up. So, okay, so let's talk about our successes. So since our last webinar, we have new House authors. Georgia, shout out to Georgia with Representative Sanford Bishop. He actually was an author many years ago on an FSD bill. And then Representative Sheila Jackson-Lee from Texas, and our own Representative Ilhan Omar from Minnesota, which is District 5, which I used to live in. It's Minneapolis and Hennepin County. And the Senate authors, shout out to Kansas, Senator Jerry Moran and Senator Tina Smith. And what's really important about those two Senate authors, they're both on the HELP committee, which is huge. And so, and one thing that I do want to say before I leave this slide is because I know that we've had a lot of meetings and a lot of activity, and you saw those states where we've had that. And we don't have, the authors haven't signed up yet. The staff have gone through a very busy time with the appropriations process. It's just, July was very busy, and we know that. And so I just want to caution all of you just to be patient and not think that negatively if you haven't gotten an answer on support of the bill, because they have been busy. And the good news is, and we can talk about that in maybe the next slide, and that's the timings, is that we have the August recess coming up. And the good news about that is that the members are going to be back in their districts, which gives you all an opportunity to connect with them. And it also gives staff time to read over the bill and contact with members, the chief authors, about any questions they might have. I do want to say that one of the important pieces of this whole effort is the team effort, and it's really important that we get the information. If you make appointments, we love to be on those calls, but it's important that we know about them, because we're in contact with the chief authors, and if that member is kind of on the fence, our chief authors can give a little nudge to those authors. I know that Representative McCollum is sending out weekly, I've talked to her staff person, and they're sending out weekly notices to members that have signed up for health updates about becoming an author on the bill. So that's why it's important for us to know what's going out there, so we can let our chief authors know who's been contacted, and they really appreciate that. Also, it'll give time for you to get organizational support in your state. And Jen maybe you want to give a little up. 33, we have 33 different organizational supports from the policy
Thir-
website. Is that right?
33 different, 33 different organizations have signed on to a letter of support for the bill from around the country so far. And we are working on getting those published out and put onto the website so we can send those over to maybe senators or representatives that might be on the fence. We had a really good success in Nevada, where we were able to reference back to an organization that had signed on, the Ackerman Center, had signed on to the letter of support, and the senator's staff just perked up right away when we mentioned that we had that letter of support. So please keep sending that link out, because it's a very easy way for organizations to sign on to the letter of support, and helps us and helps you when we're making that appeal to our senators and our representatives.
Also, as we all know, September is FASD Awareness Month, and we are going to be looking to having a staff briefing, and we don't know when it'll be or whether it'll be 2 staff briefings, a House or a Senate, but this will be an opportunity for us to have experts and advocates. It'll be virtual. It won't be in DC. They're not doing in person, so it'll be virtual. But an hour during the lunch hour, we don't know. We haven't talked about all the details on it, but I just wanted to give you a heads up on that. And that'll be hopefully in September, and that'll be another opportunity for those staff persons to have an in-depth briefing on the FSD Respect Act. So I wanted to have Mike talk a little bit about advocacy. Oh, and this was my takeaway before I turn it over to Mike. And if you don't come away with anything else with regard to the FSD Respect Act, is the more support that we can get, that i.e. bill sponsors, congressional or committee leadership, and from the administration, the greater chance of receiving consideration, which means hearings in committees, being put in another bill, whatever it. And we're hearing lots of good feedback. I got an email from Ashley from Senator Klobuchar's office, and I just want to let you know, she says, your advocates are doing great work, so please keep it up. But I wanted Mike, who's on our policy team, and I really didn't know Mike or a lot of our policy team that well, but I've grown to love them all. And I wanted Mike to just share his thoughts about advocacy and the team effort that it requires.
Well, I want to say that it's absolutely been an honor and a pleasure. I've been with this organization, gosh, I don't know, for a long time. I don't have a child that's involved, nor do I have a relative or anything else that's affected or that's on the spectrum. So this is more of a labor of love to me, and part of that love is let's go out and get this done. Let's go and get this done. The problem is that you got 535 members of Congress, each in charge of their own little fiefdom, right? And you got to figure out a way to get to them. Well, the folks that are on this, how many people do we have right now? What's this? So 42 people. And I'm gonna subtract those that like myself and Susan and the folks at the NOFAS, if you will. The others that are on this, you, the advocates, you, the parents, are so critical to this. Not because you're the voters, but because you're the first line. You're the folks that are there. You have your story. You have your reason. You have skin in the game. You have family. You have children. You have, they're just everything. And you know what? Nobody can take that away from you. Nobody can take that experience. Nobody can take the challenges. Nobody can speak to that better than you can. I can't. I can speak to the language, but I can't speak the way you can. I can't appeal to the heart. And we'd always talked about this as heart and head. You know, I can appeal to the head part very easily with the different data, and we can go through, we look at the language, but you can appeal to both the heart and the head. That makes you extremely powerful, and it's so representative. In a time when we look at our government and we wonder, can we really influence a government? You have demonstrated in the past 3 months that, yeah, we can do this. I mean, you look at, I did a number count on the total number of states, and we're up to, we started with none, well, actually maybe 2 states, right?
2 states.
Fundamentally Minnesota and Alaska. And now we're up to 19 states that we're in. And based on the count there, we have 30 members that we have touched out of 435. That is phenomenal, folks. That is amazing. So I want to encourage each of you to continue with this. Still contact folks. You're making a difference. You're making a huge difference. And for those, you know, there's going to be I call them the joy suckers. I'm really motivated by joy suckers. I'm really motivated by people that say, my whole life has been filled with people that have come to me and said, you can't do it. It ain't going to happen. There's no way you can do this. And, you know, I love proving those folks wrong. I think a lot of folks are like that on this call. I think you want to prove people wrong, but it's not your motivation. Your motivation, again, is that person that is directly affected, that direct relative, that person that you deal with every day. And I have to say, that's the most important person about this bill. So please do that. And then when you can, please incorporate. One of the things that one of the conversations has been coming up is, you know, inclusion of the rest of us, right? The folks that are at the national level and have skin in the game, have some, but have been working. I've not seen people work harder on this bill than the folks at number one, the folks on this call, as well as the folks at the national level. I mean, I see emails that come through at 12:30 at night Eastern. That means folks on the East Coast and the West Coast are up late working on this. So it's important for you to include those, because when you do go to the Hill, and having been on the Hill, the questions that are asked first is they like companionship. Who else is on the bill? And you've got to be able to talk. Is Barbara Lee from California on the bill? Yeah. Where she's looking at it. What about, you know, I'm looking at the list of names of folks. Carolyn Bordeaux out of Georgia. You wouldn't know if Carolyn Bordeaux from Georgia was on that unless you're from Georgia and you've done that. So it's important to include that, because that helps them. They'll ask you, who have you talked to? Who have you addressed? They'll also ask about the history. Have you addressed this? Have you addressed that? And a lot of times, especially if you're coming in late, you're not quite aware of how a point may have been developed, or what negotiation, what discussion may have come through. And folks like Susan and Jen and Tom and Kate, they can provide that information. Yeah, this is what we went through. There's information that we don't talk much about, the appropriations, the money, the 100 million plus that's going into this, or whatever the funding that's going with this. And the person who has that latest information is Tom. Tom's pretty good at knowing exactly where that is, because with the appropriation, authors come the appropriation. All those go together and come together with the information that you provide at the state level and at your very personal level, to provide the kind of story that walks away from, and I love sitting on these, because I love to watch the staffers, and you can look in their eyes and you can look in their face, and they'll sit there and go, wow, these people really have their stuff together. They really know what's going on. You can pick that out. That's what I love doing. You sit there and you go, yeah, you got them. And then just that big satisfying thing. So this is a big team effort. It's a national effort. You are part of a national effort. I encourage you to continue to stay with it. We're going to make this happen, folks. I'm absolutely convinced of that, and I appreciate that. I just want to say mahalo nui loa from a Hawaiian sky, but just to say really, really thank you very much. And another Hawaiian word, imua. Let's go forth. Let's go make this happen. Okay, I'll turn it back over to Susan and Jen.
Thanks, Mike. I knew, he's been on the Hill and working in all different facets, so I just highly respect him. And now Jen, I think we're ready for you.
All right. So a couple of questions in the chat that have come up. Difference between co-sponsors and authors. Originally, we referred to authors of the bill as the original co-sponsors, the people who originally put the bill forward. But when somebody signs on as a co-sponsor or a sponsor, they can also be referred to as an author of the bill. So they're somewhat interchangeable, but there's a little nuance there. Yes, am I right, Susan?
Well, you know, it's interesting because in Minnesota, we always talk about bill authors. And I know on the federal level, and Mike can correct me and if Kate were here, she would, they call them sponsors, co-sponsors. So you have the original, the four were the original ones, and then all that come on. Oh, and I did want to talk a little bit about that because I was unclear as to how that all happens when a member wants to become a co-sponsor after the bill is originally introduced. And what happens is they do connect with the, you know, like the Democrats usually will connect with the Democrat and the Republican with the Republican co-author, or if there's, and then they're the ones that send it into the congress.gov or where it's going to happen. So it isn't, they contact the chief sponsors. So that's how we know. And we've been told by McCollum's office that as soon as they know, they'll let us know. And then there's a delay in the amount of time that it gets on congress.gov because there's a lot of, as you can appreciate, there's a lot of activity going on and a lot of bills being sponsored. So that's just a little FYI that I didn't even know. So Jen, you can, there was also, I see Barb Weibert had a question about, and I'm not sure, maybe I misspoke about, can you explain who are the administrators that you want us to contact? Yes.
Yeah, I can go through that. So administrators in terms of, it's really your both your senators and your representative. Those are the ones we want you to contact. Everything beyond that, the staffers will take care of. So that's who you need to connect with for that. Really, this comes down to 3 basic steps, and we've talked about this ad nauseum, but I would be remiss if I didn't say it again. 2 senators, 1 rep, organizations. So if you have not yet contacted your 2 senators and your representative, please do so now. You are asking them for a meeting to sit down and talk about the FSD Respect Act. If you're comfortable having us on the call with you, we'd love to do that as folks from NOFAS to help support questions about the bill. All of that information can be found on the policy site, www.nofaspolicycenter.org under the FSD Respect Act. There's information like a template on what you can say to get the meeting. There's connections for reaching out, how to reach out to the representatives and the senators, how to figure out who your rep is. It's all on there. So that's the big piece. And definitely those organizational signatures. There's a place on the website where they can just sign on, put in their information, and boom, they're signed on to the letter of support. So very quick, simple, and easy.
Jen, I just wanted to jump in here because I know there's been some question as to whether a personal meeting is the appropriate thing or the best thing. And based on all of our experience, that is what we need to do. I know it's a little more work. Letters, postcards are nice, but they're not selling our stories. The personal lived stories with generally it's staff, although we have met with some members of Congress as well, but that's what's working. That's what's doing the trick. And Jen can help with getting that all set up and setting up Zoom calls, and we're trying to make it as easy as we can.
So if you are able to get a meeting, give me a call. My phone number is plastered all over the website. My email address is plastered all over the website. I don't think there's a person in America that doesn't have my phone number at this point. If you don't, it's on the website. But once you get that meeting, reach out. We will set up a practice call. I will make arrangements, if it's at all possible, to have an expert in the field of FASD sit in on the call with you and help support the lived experience stories that are being told. Or if you're an expert in the field of FASD and you get the call, I will find parents, self-advocates to go on and tell their story. I'll set up the Zoom call, coordinate that with the staffer. Take all of that off of your shoulders if you want me to. If you want to do it yourself, hey, cool. Not here to tell you what to do. But if I can support you in any way, please reach out and do so. And definitely the lived experience stories, Mike, I was saying how you see the look in the staffer's eye. Absolutely. I can tell you full on, the minute that self-advocate or parent advocate is talking and they get to that point in their story, the staffer, and part of why that's so effective is that they don't have that knowledge of FASD. They don't have that knowledge of what this journey is like. So if this were a standard issue, yeah, letter writing would be fine. That would work. But for this issue, because they really don't know what it is, we need to make this invisible visible to them. And having these meetings really helps. So on the Policy Center, we've actually simplified things a little bit too. So there's a drop-down menu. You can say advocacy for individuals. Otherwise, if you scroll halfway down the FSD Respect Act page, you'll see these 3 buttons. You want button number 1. Button number 1 is your mission number 1. It doesn't matter if you're an organization, you're a person first and you're a voter first. And so first, please go onto that individual page, get your 2 senators, 1 rep, then work on the organization. If you want to check out the information we have there for legislative staffers too, to give you a more full understanding of the bill, please feel free to. There's no passwords on it, go for it. But start with that individual button, please. 3 websites. This is some new information, and first website you should know is the NOFAS Policy Center. Not to beat a dead horse, but there we are. And then the second one is Bill Track 50. And I want to thank the group in California, NOFAS Northern California, for providing this. Bill Track 50 is a great way to find out status of FASD bills in your state. You can do a little search on FASD in your state, and it'll tell you what legislation has the mention of FASD in it. You can also search by senator or rep and find out who their staff is. So let's say you've reached out to the website a couple of times and you haven't had any luck getting a response back on getting a meeting. You can go on billtrack50.com and look up and see who the staffers are that work for that senator or that representative. It gives you their emails and their phone numbers. You can reach out to them that way. So if you have any difficulty navigating that site, just reach out to me and I'm happy to look them up for you. The other one I really like is the Town Hall Project. And the Town Hall Project lists any senators or representatives that are having town halls in your area. A lot of them are virtual right now. You can just call into them. But if they're having a town hall meeting, that can be a really effective way of getting this issue in front of them, and as Kansas will attest to. So townhallproject.org is another one. So I will be sending out notes from this meeting and the recording of this meeting on Monday. I will include those websites in it. But in the meantime, if you have a chance to write them down and look at it, they are really some great resources for supporting our advocacy on the bill. Town hall success. We've had some really just awesome ways, in addition to contacting your 2 senators and 1 rep, of people reaching out and advocating. So this is Senator Moran from Kansas, and we had some of our great Kansas folks go out and get t-shirts made up and head out to a town hall meeting with Senator Moran. And that is how they got him on board. They had a meeting with him. They'd introduced this topic to the staff, so he was prepped and ready for it. But really what pushed him over the edge was attending that town hall meeting. So there's a t-shirt maker out of Missouri, I believe, that is makes the t-shirts, but we designed the template for the t-shirts here at NOFAS. So if you want to get your own shirts made up for something and you can't get them through this t-shirt maker in Missouri, who's listed on the FSD Respect Act Champions Facebook page, just reach out to me and I'll give you the t-shirt design and you can take it to somebody local and get it made. But yeah, this is a great way of reaching out. We also have an advocate from our advocate and affiliate from Ohio did a radio show and was talking about the FSD Respect Act. We've had a couple of advocates, myself included, on podcasts. We've got somebody coming out on the Jeff Noble podcast. We've got Natalie from FASD Hope. We've been on her podcast promoting this. So if you know of a podcaster, even if they're not in the FASD field, they're great people to reach out to. We have another radio show that's happening today in Chicago, one of the major radio stations in Chicago. One of our parent advocates is reaching out and doing a radio show in Chicago about the FASD Respect Act. So again, these are great things to do once you've contacted your 2 senators, 1 rep. So one of the things we're going to start doing as things really are ramping up on the bill is offering a weekly policy drop-in. This will be included in your email that you get on Monday. This will be a recurring meeting where you can just drop in and Susan and I will be there, maybe other members of the policy team if they're available, where you can ask questions. It's not a formal presentation like this. It's literally, hey, I need help with this, or hey, I'm stuck with that, or I have a question on how this will work. Obviously, you're welcome to reach out to me at any time other than that too. I'm here to support you, but this might be, if one person has a question, chances are other people will too. So this is a great forum for you to be able to reach out and get your questions answered. So that'll be on Wednesdays at 1 o'clock Eastern via Zoom. We'll have that Zoom link posted up on the FSD Respect Act Champions page and on the policy site. And I will send you an email with that Zoom information as well. And obviously, we're not going to have that drop in on the weeks when the policy meeting is being held. So we've had a huge amount of people sign up for 90 days, 90 ways to advocate. On the policy site, there is a sign up form for 90 days, 90 ways. It's quick things you can be doing every day to support advocacy for the FASD Respect Act. So you're welcome to sign up for that. It's just quick little ideas, little notes on things you can do. The FASD Respect Act Champions page on Facebook, again, that's a place where you can get resources. You can connect with other people around the country on what's going on, what's working, what's not working. Usually if we have a big win, I'm on there doing a goofy video like a lunatic, telling people that, oh, we got another one, yay! But usually that's a quick and easy way to get information out. Anything that's on there, we do try and communicate as well via email. But if you're on Facebook, which most people are, you can check out the information there. So bottom line, I'm here to support you. Not here to tell you what to do, not here to tell you how to do your advocacy. I'm here to support you with what's working in other areas of the country. So if you haven't reached out to your 2 senators, 1 rep yet, please do so. If you're having some difficulty, some challenges, maybe you've emailed them a few times and haven't connected, maybe you don't know where to begin, maybe you're feeling kind of stuck, please reach out. I want to help you with this. This is my job. I am your secretary, your admin, your concierge. Let me help. Just a reminder, I'm very excited about this. Run Fast is coming up in September. We are very pleased to have Indiana NOFAS and FASD Hope as co-sponsors of RunFast. And RunFast is a virtual 5K that was created and thought of by an individual, Rebecca Tillo, a mom with FASD. So this is for people with FASD by people with FASD. And you can sign up anywhere in the country on the policy page, on the NOFAS page. It gives you information on how to sign up for the virtual 5K. You can run, you can walk, you can ride alongside in a car while somebody else is running. That's okay. It's just working to make FASD visible in our communities. And a great thing to do would be to invite your senator or your representative to RunFast. They love good photo ops, and doing a RunFast 5K is a great photo op for them. So we have about 10-15 minutes left. I want to open it up to any questions you might have. One I will answer really quick. Montana, we need you. So Carl, you mentioned Montana.
Yep. We cover the eastern side of the state because it's very rural from where all of their main populations are. So I'm more than happy to take care of Montana. And I have some very good friends that live in Pennsylvania who are willing to work with me to reach out to their elected officials as well.
Fantastic.
So I'll work on those two states.
I need to connect you with Lynn Becker.
Yes.
And Lynn is in Pennsylvania, and she's been trying her best to get things done there too.
More than happy to work with whomever. Yeah, the more people we can reach, the better this will be for all of us.
And Carl, just the mic. John Tester will be a big advocate for you. Tester's always been a big advocate that we've been able to work with personally. Steve Daines also is a good senator.
Good.
We'll be working with you. And I forget who your representative is. I've been following it. And the reason why I follow is my wife's from Seeley Lake. So.
Oh, yeah. Yep. I don't actually live in Pennsylvania. I'm just working with the people that I know that live there that are advocates that are willing to help get the word out about this.
All right, cool.
Yep.
Carl?
Yeah.
Do you know Marcia Katz
No.
in Montana? Okay.
No.
She was a disabilities person. She's retired now, but
I probably have met her, but I don't remember the name.
she would work with you, I'm sure, on
Good.
this.
Good to know. Do you have an email address you could send me whenever you get a chance?
I can get it to you, yes.
Okay, that works. I probably know somebody who can get it for me too, but it's easier if you can do it.
And Barbara, if you want to send that to me, I can email it over to Carl, because I know pretty much everybody has my email address.
Right.
Okay.
One of the questions that came up in the chat, and this is a really good suggestion, and I really appreciate it when people come forward with suggestions, is a one-page flyer or an electronic brochure that can be sent out to families, encouraging them to learn more about the bill and reach out to legislators. So I am going to work on that the very first part of next week, and hope to have that out in the first couple of days of the next week. So if anybody thinks of anything else like that, please speak up, because if you need a resource, odds are somebody else needs that same resource. So Ohio, definitely needs some outreach in Ohio. I hope Ohio's doing great. Yes, you are doing outreach, but any additional outreach is fabulous. Until we get that meeting, until we get that senator or that rep signed on as a co-sponsor, we just want to keep reaching out. So once a meeting happens, I do update the website to say that we've had a meeting. That way you're not going into it and they're saying, oh yeah, we've already met with folks about this. I'm trying to keep that updated on a daily basis, if at all possible. So once we've had a meeting, you can then reach out and say, hey, I understand that you've met with fellow advocates about the FSD Respect Act. I'd like to also encourage you to become a co-sponsor.
Yeah, and I just want to say it's all about connections and relationships, and you never know what is going to drive a member to sign on to a bill. And so I think the more efforts that we can have to, it's like maybe beating a dead horse, but to bring in those personal connections. I know I grew up in Iowa, and Senator Grassley was my state legislator. And I've known him for many, many years, and I've remained in contact. His uncle was my uncle was his attorney. And so now we are going to have a meeting, was it Jen, next week with his staff and some advocates from Iowa. And so even if you, maybe not from the state, but you have connections in other states. And we can help set those up. But I just want to thank you all for what you're doing. This has just been an incredible effort.
Just
Jen.
to add to that, I'll let you know that the staffer that works for Senator Portman or Senator Portman's son, one or the other, is about to get married to a staffer that works for Senator Burr. Why is that important?
I said, ooh.
Yeah, why is that important? It's because Senator Burr is ranking on the health committee, and we get Senator Burr and we get Senator Burr. So just there are relationships that are beyond that, so that they matter. Also for Maryland, and I assume Maryland's from Colorado. Sorry, I looked you up on LinkedIn. If you need to drop me a note later on, but I sent you a note that who the Health LA for Joe Neguse is and her email address. And I'll also tell you that Neguse would be a good person to get. He's not only on any committees of jurisdiction, if you will, but he's a good supporter from the because of his Native American ties. Would be very helpful, as well as your senators too. Your senators are important there, but Joe Neguse would be a good person to get.
As for motivating Barbara Lee, if we get a senator or a representative that's kind of stuck, because I know we had pretty favorable outcome with Barbara Lee, and she just hasn't quite committed yet. So one of the things that is happening is dear colleague letters have been going out from the staffers in the original authors' offices. And those dear colleague letters are just a reminder that, hey, this bill is out there, it's important, please consider supporting it. We also did just give an updated list again to the authors' offices, the original authors' offices, asking them to reach out to people that were, we knew they were favorable, but they just need that little nudge. And so Barbara Lee absolutely was on there. But I don't know, Mike, can you think of anything else we could do to nudge Barbara Lee?
Jen, I wonder if Ilhan Omar reaching out to her.
Okay.
Susan, do you think that's something we might be able to do?
I'm sorry, I had to go, my battery was dying on my laptop. And so I had to go get my battery. I'm sorry, what was the question?
I thought was maybe a fellow member of the Black Caucus. If Omar is a original co-sponsor,
She's not an original. She just,
or she just signed on.
Yeah, she just signed up.
but she's got a lot of,
She has a lot of progressive credibility, which I think would resonate for Barbara Lee.
Yeah, and as I said before, I think a lot of, there's been so much activity going on with these members and with the appropriations process and a lot of other things going on. So I would give them some time this, the month of August to kind of catch their breath. I don't think there's a question of persuasion necessarily. Betty McCollum is also probably a very good friend of Barbara Lee. So I think let's just, like I said, give them a little time.
But I think sending a reminder just that, hey, just wanted to let you know that we've had further success on the FSD Respect Act.
Yeah.
These senators or these representatives have just signed on. And just leaving it at that, just very cheerful, very upbeat, very not meaning to pressure you. I know you're going to support this. Just wanted to give you some more information.
Yeah, kind of keeping it on their radar.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's a quick, easy way to do it.
Well, and, you know, Representative McCollum's staff has said if there are any members that, you know, just let us know and we'll send, you know, we'll, what we call do a little nudge. So they're willing to do that. And Patrick, who's been out for this month with studying for the bar and taking the bar this week, I think will be in next week. So we can talk some more about that.
Yeah.
With their staff. And Sophia's been fabulous with their staff.
Bottom line, it really has been these meetings that have made a difference. And the more we can get them, you know, the more chance we have of getting this pushed through. So Kathy, I know you had a question and then we're probably hitting top of the hour, so I'll let people go, but Kathy.
Actually, it's a statement about what I'm doing. I have spent a lot of time crafting an email that I am sending out to all the nonprofits that I know in North Carolina, and I know that Gail on the other end of our state has done that also. But now I'm moving to the disability organizations, those nonprofits, even if I don't know somebody personally. I'm modifying that email a little bit and asking them to support. And also at the end, I'm saying, and we would appreciate it if you would contact your senators, and the two, Tillis and Burr, and your congressional representative, and call and leave a message, even at night, if that's what you want to do, saying, I support this, because they are making little hashtags. I'm also emailing most people on my email contact list. I'm sure I'm going to be really popular with one that is a little changed from the nonprofit, saying, you know, my journey with Sasha, and I hope you will help families like my own. And I'm giving the links and for individuals, the link for the website, etc. I do think a lot of those people, I am choosing carefully who I send that to, but I think they are people that are going to respond to do it for my daughter, is the way I see it. And boy, if we can get somebody who has a connection to Burr's daughter's, whatever he is, because he is not budging, even with a father who has the father of a child with an FASD who has social contact with him, who is also an attorney, etc. And he is not responding to anything. So we could use that if you know someone.
I think fantastic on the letter, number one. If you don't mind sharing that, I would love to be able to post that as an example of some advocacy that can be very useful. So if you're comfortable doing that. And I think with Burr too, because he heads the committee, many times the heads of the committee will not commit to co-sponsoring one way or the other. So I think keeping the issue in front of him, if he's hearing about it, whether he's choosing to meet or not, it's not a bad thing. So we have hit the top of the hour, unless there's any other questions. I just want to thank you all so much for your advocacy. I want to thank you for your support. I want to thank you for your time and energy. I know that, you know, we all have things that we need to do in addition to this, but this is so vitally important for continuing the work and just making a difference in the lives of my kids, in the lives of other people's kids, in the lives of individuals living with FASD. And we need this. And we're coming together as a group and it's working. Like we can see it just every day, the needle moving this much more forward. So thank you again. And please reach out if you have any questions or anything that you need.